Welcome, everybody, to episode 28 of the Mullins Over Music podcast. This week's guest is Mr. Aaron Hutchison of This Is My End. You may also know him from 5-Year Winter or Azariah's Prayer. He's a good friend of mine, and we have a great talk about hardcore music. And we even talk about how I saw This Is My End's first show with Downset, which is a cool first show, by the way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Welcome, everybody, to the Mullins Over Music podcast. I'm your host, as always, Austin Mullins. And I'm here with Mr. Aaron of This Is My End. You may also know him from several other bands he's been in. I'll let him tell you all the fun bands he's been in a minute. But we got to start off the podcast with the two questions that I always ask, which is the fun fact question. I mean, you've been working on this since you were in elementary school. They called your name. They said, "Say your name and state a fun fact about yourself." So I got to have one of those.
Oh, straight up, I've been struck by lightning.
That is a fun fact. Well,
Wasn't that fun? It was kind of like a glancing blow, but still, I got hit by lightning in my friend Andy's car.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, coming back from the mall one day and random freak thunderstorm, and Andy was a punk rock kid, so his car was not great. So there's no AC, right. Windows were down, and my arm was out the window, and I got hit with lightning. So then my mom didn't believe me when I got home until I showed her my hair was on end, and like I had what looked like a sunburn on my right arm.
That's crazy.
Right?
What an interesting story.
Yeah, a weird day in my life.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then, of course, for our second question, we always start the podcast with, it's the funny question. And I mean, what's a good time without a good laugh? So, what is the oddest combination of food you secretly love?
Oddest combination of food I secretly love. That's tough. Like, I mean, there are people that think French fries and Frosty are weird, but they're wrong.
Yeah, I think it's more of a people do like that more than not.
But also, French fries with pizza is like entirely underrated.
Yes.
Like people don't do it enough.
No.
But if you get like a good greasy New York slice and then you have some fries and you like run the fries through the grease, it's delicious. It's also why I'm fat, so you know.
Dude, French fries and pizza, that is an underrated combo.
It is.
When I said the question, that was the first thing that popped into my head. So
I was all good, man.
We must be on the same wavelength.
Right.
Okay. Well, as I said before, you've been part of many bands.
Yeah, a few
of them. Let's just start from the beginning. Let's start with you getting into music, and let's work our way up to now. Just
okay. Are we starting like where I got into, like what inspired me to like start playing music?
Yeah.
Because, all right. So straight up, when I was, like 13, 14 years old, like was the year pop punk broke big with like Green Day and Offspring and Rancid. And then, I listened to it, and then I was a church kid, so one of my friends was like, "Hey, you should listen to MXPX. They're like the Christian Green Day." And I did. And then I realized they were only like, 3 or 4 years older than me and my friends, and they were doing a lot. So that was like what inspired me to like start trying to start a band. And then seeing them like my freshman year of high school was like, oh, this is it. Like prior to that, I'd seen like gone to like big Christian rock shows like DC Talk or whatever. But seeing MXPX in a Legion Hall, and it's like this is what I want to do. And so I've spent way too long doing exactly that. It took me a while to start a band that really like got off the ground. Like in high school, a couple of friends and I would do off and on stuff. Never really recorded anything. Never played any shows. When I got to college, I started a band with a couple of friends called Perish the Thought. We didn't do a lot. We played probably 3 shows. One was good, 2 were bad. That's the ratio. Um, but it was fun. It was like it got me hooked, and then I promoted shows through all that time. So
Yeah.
worked with bands like Norma Jean and Zayo and Dashboard Confessional and Seven Angels, Seven Plagues, and a lot of bands that people don't remember or barely remember, and some that went on to do a lot bigger things. And then around 2003, 2004, started another band, like trying to start a straight edge hardcore band, and that became Azariah's Prayer with a couple of friends. Like the lineup changed probably 5 times before we got really solid.
Yeah.
05 we released like a demo that was actually good. We started playing shows, and like we'd been playing shows that whole time, which made us a lot better. We figured out like that nobody wants to hear like 8-minute metalcore songs if you aren't between the Buried and Me. Um,
That is
so
fair.
we started writing like 2-minute mosh songs, and it went over a lot better. Um, we got to play some cool shows with that band. Played with Seven Star, played with Still Remains a couple times, played with Through the Eyes of the Dead, played with Dead to Fall, and like Saints Never Surrender. We're like homies back in the day because we played with them all the time since we were kind of from the same scene. Kingston Falls, who ended up on Face Down, we played with them a lot too. But that was, and then like that band kind of petered out in 2006. I moved to Indianapolis. The band kind of kept going without me, changed their name, put out a couple records as AXP. And then I moved to Pennsylvania and wasn't in a band for a long time. Spent years trying to start a band. Just kind of, again, stop and start, like talk to people. And then it's like what we wanted to do wasn't, like what I wanted to do wasn't what they wanted to do. And we would get frustrated and nobody would really return calls or anything. So that didn't work out. 2014, I started booking shows again. Worked with a lot of bands like Conveyor and Strength and What Remains and Heavens Die, Vatican. Um, who else do we have come through? Oh, Sanction. Sanction. That show was one of the craziest things I've ever done. Um, then started another band in like 2021, just post COVID. Actually, no, I should say 2016 started 5 Year Winter. That was actually my friend Jeff, who I'd been friends with since we were in second or third grade. Just hit me up out of the blue one day, like on Facebook. He was like, "Hey, I know that you are like a vocalist that does like metal and hardcore stuff. My friend Ryan and I are trying to start a band that's kind of like what they were trying to do was kind of like Glassjaw Islander Deftonesy stuff.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite work out because Jeff changed jobs and started working like third shift, and his wife doesn't let him have fun, so uh, she gets mad when he leaves the house, I think. So Ryan and I, who was the other guy that he was a friend of Jeff's, and they'd played in bands together for a while. We ended up kind of being like, "Yeah, do you want to start something?" He was like, "Yeah, I do." So then we found this dude Travis through like an ad, and another Aaron, King was our first drummer. Through like we found them both through like Craigslist or Facebook ads, and we wrote God's Last Gift EP, like late 2016, early 2017. Recorded it in April, May of 2017. Released it that summer. Played some shows. Kicked out the drummer, uh, which becomes a running theme with 5 Year. Um, Played some shows with a drum machine that I never want to do again because it sucked and I hated it. Like if we were an industrial band, I probably would have been cool with it, but like playing metalcore, no, no, dog, no. Um, but we got to play some cool shows with that band. Like our first show ever was with Vatican, Heavens Die, and Problem of Pain. So that was cool. Queensway was supposed to play, but dropped like 2 weeks before. Yeah, it happens. Then like our second show was with Poured Out, Poured Out, Wolf Down, Meth Mouth, Absolute Suffering, and Heavens Die Again. Our third show was with Left Behind. like we came out swinging
Oh yeah.
on the shows we got on, which was cool. Then we played a lot of then we played some shot shows because it happens.
Yeah.
We got to play some cool stuff. Um, so we did that EP. Then after we got rid of the other drummer, Joey joined the band. Um, we recorded. We played some shows with we played a show with Church Tongue. What else did we play with? We played with like Armory Infirmary. Played a bunch of shows with If Not For Me, who are big now, but they definitely weren't then
Yeah.
because we were playing to like 30 kids in a church basement or like VFW type place. So
Yeah.
yeah, and now they've got like songs on Octane and whatever. So more power to them. Like I'm
Oh yeah.
stoked to see homies do well.
Oh yeah.
Like they've done a lot. Then with Joey, we recorded Magic Killer. It was like a 2-song single. The idea was to do it as a split, but we could never find another band to do a split with, so we just released the 2 songs. And the one song I hate now because when we wrote it, it sounded like the Acacia Strain, and when I went to record vocals, it sounded like August Burns Red. I was like, that is not. That's
Interesting
not.
combination.
Yeah. Then the other song is just like a Deftones song played backwards. It's if you listen to Coup de Grace from either the Magic Killer single or the self-titled EP, it's very influenced by Hexagram by Deftones.
Yeah.
Um, also, I wish that breakdown was longer, but that's it's too late to change that now since
Oh
it's
yeah.
been 6 years since we released the EP. And then after Joey threw a fit while we were recording, so we kicked him out of the band. And our friend Max joined. Max is awesome. Max actually is in This Is My End now. So
That's what's up.
yeah, yeah. So kept him. He stayed along for the ride for a couple bands now, because he was also in After 5 Year, which I'll get to that. I'll get to the band that never was. But 5 Year, we recorded the self-titled EP in 2019. Like we played a bunch of shows in 2018 with a lot of bands. Like we played with Wrist Meet Razor. We played with Moral Code. Who else did we? I don't know. It was a lot of shows. It was a lot of shows. Um, then we recorded like 2019. We didn't play a lot of shows because we started recording in like March and didn't finish recording until September because we were doing it like chunks at a time. Instead of practice, we would record. Um, yeah, but it took a while, especially just getting parts done and everything. Um, I'm really proud. Like, I really like some of the stuff we did on that EP. Like there's some stuff I wish like vocally I would have done differently, but it is what it is now.
That is true.
Uh, yeah, so we played a few shows on that, and then COVID happened, which kind of killed everything for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that band kind of imploded during COVID because our guitarist got real weird about Max. So because Max was also playing like an emo band at the time.
Yeah.
The like did some light touring and stuff, and he didn't think he was committed enough to our band. And both Ryan and I were like, "What are you talking about?" So yeah, that ended like early 2020. Um, then mid 2021, another friend of mine reached out about like wanting to start a straight edge band. Um, so we practiced a few times. Like it was Max played drums, and my buddy Travis and Keenan both played guitar, and it just kind of like didn't work out. Like never quite meshed the way we wanted it to. So there's a Facebook page, but no music was ever recorded or anything. Um,
Not the
then it,
page.
it was like, well, we were feeling pretty good after the first like two practices. We're like, oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
we can make this work, and then we just never did because
Fair.
Keenan moved to Ohio, so and that project was his baby, and now I think some of those songs he's in a band like he has a straight edge band called Out in Front now, and I think some of those songs are Out in Front songs now. Out in Front is sick too. Check them out if you get a chance.
Okay. I will.
Um, yeah, yeah. And then it's like another couple years of just kind of booking shows. You're like, hey, I'm a vocalist looking for a band. Like Ryan and I would talk about starting something. We talked about starting something kind of in the vein of like ISIS or like some of the sludgier Converge stuff. Then my friend Tyler is the one who actually introduced me to Jason, who's the main writer for everything in This Is My End. Like the first EP was stuff he all had. It was like all his. The song Mannequin. He wrote the lyrics and everything for that. I just came in and yelled. Um, but we met through a mutual friend, Tyler Fisher. He was like tagged me in a Facebook post Jason made, and Jason was like, "Hey, I want to do like a melodic hardcore thing." I was like, "So like Misery Signals?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Bet." So that's how this started. Like I went to his house. We recorded "Weird Dying in Alarming Ways" and "Mannequin" the first day. Um, then I went back and re-recorded the lyrics to "We Are Dying" because I hated the first ones I wrote. Um, so yeah, it's been quite a ride with this band. We haven't played a lot of shows. We've only played 3 shows as a band, but they've been
And I was
cool.
at one of them.
Yeah, you were. You saw us play with Downset, which was our first show, which is pretty wild as our first show.
It is pretty wild for a first show.
Because I think I've been listening to Downset since I was 16 years old. So it's like, oh, I've wanted to play with this band since I picked up a microphone. And I got to, even if it was mostly like not the members of Downset from the records, but whatever. Close enough. Yeah, yeah. So that's been cool. Then after those shows, like we reco- we recorded the 2 songs from the EP. Like the interlude was all Narcan on that EP is all Max. Like he does like ambient electronic stuff um, on his own, like ambient electronic spoken word stuff under the name At Least We're Out of the Rain. So that's kind of what that Narcan track is. Um, but no Kings from the CP was actually or originally supposed to be like a side project thing.
Yeah.
because we were talking about doing like something just hard, like um,
And it goes pretty hard.
it does. It's like Jason just had like some like hard riffs. Like, it didn't quite fit, but then we made it fit. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and actually the lyrics for $1 Million Dream I wrote, it was like the last thing I wrote for 5 year. But we never put it to use because like we broke up. So
Yeah.
yeah, which was a bummer because we had some cool stuff lined up right before we broke up. Because we played like our last show, we played with Iron Price and Concrete in Lancaster, and it was sick. And then we had a show lined up with Origin and Defeated Sanity,
Okay.
which like obviously we're not like we weren't a death metal band, but what was it Beneath the Massacre was on that too, so they kind of had that like MySpace deathcore OG thing going on, and we definitely didn't not sound like a deathcore band. So yeah, yeah. And we were supposed to play a show with War of Ages as well, but that kind of all got blown up by COVID. But yeah, to This Is My End. That has been started in October of 23
Yeah.
was when I like recorded with Jason, like the first two songs. We just sort of we didn't know what would become of it. And then like we saw they got a pretty decent response. So like, hey, do you want to put together a live band and do these songs live? So I was like, yeah. So that was I reached out to Max and Ryan because I had played with them before in 5 year.
Yeah.
So that was how they ended up in the band. And Tyler was like a mutual friend of all of ours. And he's a good guitarist and has a lot of red hair and stage presence. So,
He
you
does.
know, we needed him to make up for all the bald guys.
You do have a surprising amount of bald people in your
Yeah,
band.
like 3 of 5 is rough. Tyler's got enough hair for everybody, though.
And he whips that hair.
He does. He whips it like nobody's business.
Willow made that song just for him.
She did. She did. She was waiting. She was waiting for Tyler to show up. Yeah, no, no, but yeah, I really like everybody that's in the band. Although Ryan has kind of had to take a step back recently. Um, he's been taking care of his grandma, so
Yeah.
we love Ryan, but he doesn't have time to be in a metalcore band right now. So our buddy Darian, I think, is going to end up like filling the bass spot for a while, maybe permanently, but we'll see. We'll see. It's been a while since we've been able to get together because a lot has happened with everybody. Like, my mom passed a few months ago.
Yeah.
Tyler had a kid. Jason's about to have another kid. Max went back to school, so it's just kind of like,
They got busy. No,
yeah, everybody got busy. A couple of them literally
yeah.
or figuratively, however that works. You know what I mean. But
Depends on
yeah,
how you look at it.
right. And then like the new EP is like obvious, like obviously political. I, I don't think it's hard to figure out our stance on things from it. But yeah, yeah,
You sure about
yeah.
that?
If you can't figure it out, I will explain it really simply. No kings means no kings. Like that's real simple.
I thought it meant
Million
like
Dollar Dream
Taco
is
Tuesday. That's
we do celebrate Taco Tuesday though. White People Taco Night and Authentic Tacos both sick.
yes. Anyway,
Right.
continue.
Right. Anyway, yeah, like the new EP. I am surprised by the traction it's gotten. Like I check our like Spotify for artists, and like I get floored every day by like the number of streams. I'm like, how? Why? who are you people? Where did you come from? Because it's like,
Well, you
it's
got
getting
those statistics. Where are they coming from?
all over the place. Some locally, which is cool, and then some like spread out across the U.S. Indonesia for some reason, which
Interesting.
is kind of sick.
Yeah.
A couple of people like in Australia and New Zealand, so I'm like, cool. A couple of people in the UK and Northern Ireland, so I'm like, all right, that's dope. Like,
Uh,
I'm just trying to get more people to listen wherever. Like, yeah, like I want to get back to playing shows, but it'll be probably another month or two before we do that because Tyler is in another band called I Saw God
okay.
that rips. They're doing a full US tour in July with Nine Dead from Florida.
Oh, they're doing it with Nine Dead.
Nine Dead, or no, I'm sorry, Peacemaker.
Oh,
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. They're good too.
Yeah, they're playing some shows with Nine Dead
Dude, Nine Dead's sick.
and like Thus Folks Zarathustra and a few other bands like on the run. So it's very sick tour.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, but yeah, like we haven't like practiced in a minute because everybody's been busy. But we have been like promoting our music, so we'll book some shows soon.
Okay. You got to
Gotten
do
offered
one
a
of them
couple
one
shows, but they
take.
were all like, "What's that?"
You got to do one of
Sorry,
them one take vocals type of videos.
oh, dude. All of my vocals are like one or two takes because oh, I am not a perfectionist.
Dude,
I've re-
I'll do something slightly wrong and it'll piss me off and I'll be like, nope, gotta record.
I I love the Chariot, so I'm okay
Yes.
with leaving some ugliness in.
Oh yeah.
Give it a little like humanity.
Character, if
Uh,
you will.
yeah. There's a couple of times where my voice cracks on songs and stuff. I'm like, if it cracked the first time, it's gonna crack even worse the second. So, uh, uh, I mean, I've recorded like the 5 year stuff was all like Matt, who we recorded most of that stuff with, was like triple track the vocals and do them all perfectly. I wanted to kill him. Like it's that the vocals sound incredible, but I was like, I hate you, Matt. I hate you so much.
Like,
I mean, Matt, I love Matt. He's a great dude, but I hated him in that moment.
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm stoked on the new EP. I'm stoked that people like it.
Dude, it sounds great.
Yeah, that was we recorded it. Guitars and vocals are recorded in Jason's basement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, drums, Max did. And then Max mixed and mastered everything. I think bass on it is all Jason as well. So it's kind of Jason and maybe some synth bass mixed in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So like, it's just like I don't know. It's a very DIY project, very punk rock in spirit.
But it doesn't sound like it.
No, I mean we. It sounds good, but we're doing it on like a shoestring budget
Of course.
of what like you know I recorded my vocals with a Shure PG 58, so not even an SM 58, like a $50 mic.
Makes sense to me.
But it's a hardcore record, so I've
That
used nice
extra
mics.
grittiness. Yeah, you don't use nice mics for a hardcore
I
record.
just I'll use a 7B or something if there's one available. But I've recorded with 58s. It's like, the first time I ever recorded anything was like a $5 80 mic, so it's an improvement from that. And a monitoring system that was a Jimmy Neutron boombox. So
Hey, Jimmy Neutron,
yeah,
he had them hacks.
he did. It was very much recorded in a friend's living room and guitar amps isolated in the kitchen pantry. So fun
That's
times,
big
fun
though.
times. Yeah, a lot of one take live in the room stuff because
Oh,
again, the chariot.
yeah.
Yeah, but we were also trying to sound like As I Lay Dying, and we didn't do so well at that. But unlike Tim Lambesis, I have never tried to have anybody murdered. So
Yeah. Or kick the
I got,
dog.
yeah, I have not been caught on video kicking a dog. I don't even have a dog to kick. I've got a cat that's somewhere around here.
And cats don't even let you kick them. So it's
No, she'll just scratch me if I kick her.
you'll be the victim if that happens.
Yeah, she's stalking me now, I think. I see her.
I got a
I turn my
giant
head.
scratch on my foot from where
Yeah.
my cats got me while I was sleeping.
There she is, if you can see her over my shoulder.
Oh, can I?
Can you?
I don't know. No. Well, oh, I can
There
now.
she is. Yeah. She's
Hi.
a butthead.
She's a butthead.
She is. She is. She's a jerk. She's named after a Thrice song, too, so that's fun.
That's why she's a jerk. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe, I don't know. I let my best friend name her, so she said, why don't you call her Daedalus? So I do. It mostly goes by day. Sometimes, hey, get down from there. So,
You get down. That's a good one.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, dude.
Let's get into the EP a little more
Let's go. All right.
because, like I said, it is a sick EP. I mean,
Thank you.
let's break it down one by one.
All right, let's go.
Million Dollar Dream.
$1 Million Dream. Let's see. I said I wrote those lyrics in probably 2019, maybe early 2020. Um, just kind of sick and tired of watching really rich people run everything and ruin it. Um, and then like it might be the most Christian song I've ever written. Because if you read James 5, it basically says rich people go to hell.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what that song is rich people go to hell. Because it's all about like how every dollar like that is made by a billionaire, a millionaire, a Walmart or whatever is really paid in the blood of the people that work for them and not anything they've done. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like I said, blatantly political, and if you can't figure out which side of the aisle, that's on you. That's
Yeah.
on you.
You got a fair
Yeah,
point.
yeah, it's and then the guitars and stuff that was all Jason. Like obviously very influenced by bands like Misery Signals.
Yep.
Um, like in it, I kind of hear a little bit of like a victim, a target,
I can hear that.
and some like not quite as much. Like I think the first EP has a lot of. He was listening to a lot of like Alaska and like Old Hundredth when
Yeah.
he was writing that stuff. This was much harder. So more of the like heavier Misery Signal stuff, heavier Poison the Well moments. Um, just kind of like what he showed me the riff. Like he showed the riffs, like he sent us the riffs in the band chat, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what this song is going to be. So like I updated the lyrics, like made it fit the structure of that song, as
Yeah.
opposed to like the genty deathcore of 5 Year.
Yep.
To be a little more like hardcore, which is my favorite thing in the world. Um, so yeah,
As long as
it's
I've
like
known you, you've been a
yeah,
hardcore junkie.
I have been like my phrasing is like 98% ripped off of Jasta, so I'm not gonna like I don't hide my influences. It's like Josta, like Mean Pete from Remembering Never,
Yeah.
Dan from Zayo, obvious one.
Of course.
obvious one. I mean, to the point that like the last band was named after a Zayo song. So yeah, yeah, that song is sick. I love it. Like the breakdown is one of my favorite things we've ever done, and I can't wait to like actually play it live and hopefully see somebody like spin kicked into oblivion.
Yeah, spin kicked
Yeah,
into oblivion.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I can't like I've been like itching to play these songs live. I think we all have, but just life has gotten in the way.
Of course.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
but that's that song. Got if you got other questions about it, hit me with them.
well, I mean, we gotta talk about the next song, Narcan.
All right, Narcan, that's all Max. Like it's just like a little interlude.
It's a really sick
Um,
interlude too.
it is. It's cool. Like I love the stuff he does with that. He did an interlude on the EP as well. Um,
Which one was that again?
it's just called interlude on the other
That's
EP.
right. That's right.
Yeah, he didn't name that one. Narcan he named like because the EP is called Stridor, which he's like studying to be an EMT right now. But
Yeah.
Stridor is like whenever you're getting like choked and cut off, like airways getting cut off. So that's kind of how we feel about kings and billionaires.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, and then the samples were just stuff he found um, that kind of lyrically fit with the vibe of what we're doing. Like the sample in $1 Million Dream, basically about how we can find funding for all kinds of things that don't help people and can't find funding for things that do.
Yep.
And then the No Kings one, basically where like, oh yeah, sure, you'll just like support genocide or whatever. So yeah, yeah, I wanted to use the Bill Burr clip about billionaires and $1 Million Dream, but I think the one Max found fits better.
Oh yeah. Although I do know what you're talking about. And Bill,
Yeah, yeah.
great comedian.
Bill Burr is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's Narcan.
Okay.
Like what? Not very long. Kind of just a
Short little inter.
little break before we get back to punching people in the face.
Oh yeah. Which
Because
leads us into No King.
which is, I think, our hardest song by a pretty fair margin. Like I think We're Dying in Alarming Ways from the EP is hard, but
That is a hard song.
it's only like a minute long. It's more an intro than a whole song. But this song is like originally, like I said, it wasn't gonna be This Is My End song. And uh Jason and I were talking like when I recorded it, like, what if we did like a side project that was just heavy? So it was gonna be released under the name The Cleansing Flood, which I think is just a hard name.
That is a hard name.
And it's even better as it comes from like a gospel song.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like, like one
Oh yeah.
Sunday I was sitting
That's
in
hard.
church and uh, like Victory in Jesus has that beneath the cleansing flood line. I'm like, that's hard. That's hard. If you put that
It's-
in a death metal font, that would look sick.
I've never
So
even thought about it like that. That is pretty.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But then Max heard it. Like we send everything to him because he mixes and masters everything. It's
Yeah.
like we'll just make this a This Is My End song, and we did. And it was probably a good idea because it's like our third most played song now. Um, like I said, lyrically, it's I wrote it in 2020.
It's your number
Um,
two, man.
Number two, yeah, yeah. After, well, I think if you combine the two, Mannequin from the EP and Mannequin from the like original EP, it surpasses it by a little bit. But whatever, they're two different songs at this point.
Of course.
Um, yeah, I wrote that song in 2020 in the middle of like uh, the tear gassing protesters to go walk into a church and hold a Bible upside down kind of deals that were happening then. But yeah, it's just my perspective on kingdoms, empires, exploitation, filtered down into like a 2.5 minute long hardcore song. um, I think the hook line The breakdown hook line of No Fucking Kings is may as well be my life philosophy. Hey, I don't want to hear it from wannabe dictators and petty thugs and people that have never worked a day in their lives for anything they have. Um, Screw them,
Yeah,
screw them. Like every kingdom that's ever existed is fallen,
that's right.
and so will every empire that exists today.
Yep.
Um,
Say
so
that.
you know, it is what it is. Like stuff will suck for people as the empire falls around them, but hopefully, like the last line is like, and build from the ash. Like the idea is to build something new and something better than what we have, because a better world is possible. A
Rise
better
like
world
a
is possible.
phoenix.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. I was reading a lot of Tolstoy at the time. I read The Kingdom of God is Within You. Right around then, I was like, yeah, this like resonates with me, and it kind of ended up that song ended up being written out of that and just the frustration of 2020.
Yeah.
And then, we got to 2024 and 2025 and like history repeats.
Yep.
Yeah.
As it does.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah, that's those three songs. A it's pretty raw like lyrically, but just like I couldn't not like I had to get all of that off my chest.
Yeah.
We recorded those songs in like September, October of last year. Um, Maybe yeah, I think it was September, October. No, before that, it was in the summer. We recorded those in the summer, and then we released them obviously this spring.
Yeah.
They've been sitting on Max's hard drive for a while. We have like another, I want to say another 5 or 6 songs that are in various stages of mixing and mastering.
Okay.
So not sure if we're gonna do like Jason has some more riffs, I have some more lyrics. I'm not sure if we're gonna record a few more songs and like put out a full length or like drop a couple more like single like EP things.
Yeah.
It all depends. It all depends. Like contemplating like do we want to do a physical release for Stridor? Um because the idea was just to do it as a digital only.
Yeah.
Yeah, but since it seems like people like it, maybe do like a small run of like actual nice CDs
Yeah.
as opposed to like the I burned them in my kitchen CDs of the EP.
That's got a
So
certain je ne sais quoi to it, though.
yeah, that was very much like well, this band sounds like 2005, so let's just do what I did in 2005 and
Yeah.
make some paper sleeves and do all of this. So I mean, that was very much that was obviously a DIY project.
Yeah.
Like that whole the first EP, like everything was done by like in house. Tyler did the art. Jason and Max did all the recording. I burned the CDs. Um, yeah, this one we reached out to our friend Cypress, otherwise known as Grimcat, who also did all the 5 year winner art and did like our logo and everything for us to do the artwork. Like I gave him the lyrics, and I think he represented it pretty well
It
with the art for the EP, and it looks sick. Like I think it would look sick as like a back patch on like a crusty kid's jacket. So,
is.
which that was like that was what I told him was like do it like make it look like grimy and crusty and like a tragedy record or something, but metalcore. and he did it
Oh
somehow.
yeah.
He did it. Yeah, yeah. Like it doesn't look exactly like, well, it doesn't look like a Crash record or like a Discharge record or something, but it wouldn't look out of place next to those records in your collection either.
No, it would not.
Yeah, yeah. So, and Cypress is like a supremely talented artist. Like, if you're in a band and you need art, he's awesome. His rates are really good. Sometimes you have to get on him to like get stuff to you, but normally he's pretty quick with it. Like he was in the middle of moving whenever we put this project together, but he had everything done in like a week for us. So I can't complain too much.
No. Well, I'm glad you answered my question. I was about to ask you about the artwork, so
Yeah, dude.
you
Yeah,
answered
I
my question.
always glad to answer and always glad to like hype up the homies. So
Yeah.
yeah, because every 5 year winner shirt, every 5 year winner release other than the EP, the first other than God's Last Gift, he did the art for. Um, God's Last Gift EP and our very first shirt were done by Jonah Thorne, who played in Wrist Meet Razor and a bunch of other bands. Also, great dude. Highly recommend. Great taste in 90s and 2000s metalcore too.
Hey, that's a good quality to have.
It is. It is. As a person that loves those styles of music, it's one of the best qualities you can have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What else you got for me? Because I can talk.
I got some good ones.
All right, holler at me. Let me take a sip of
Oh,
this Coca Cola and
of course. Well, I gotta ask, what's the
yeah, dude.
favorite song you've written
Ooh, like all
and
time.
least favorite song you've written? Yeah, let's do
Okay.
all time.
My favorite song, I think, No Kings is like currently my favorite,
Of course.
but also I would say there's an Azariah's prayer song, Exposing the Enemy. That song was so much fun to play.
It is a great
Um,
song.
and it was like a lot. It was always fun. Like people would sing along. It was like one of the first songs that like we got like a hook on, and we get people like screaming the lyrics back at us. Least favorite song I've ever written was actually back in the Azariah's prayer days. It was called Megiddo, or no, actually it was called "I'll Be Dancing on Your Grave." It sucked. It sucked. I'm glad that the only place you can find that CD is you could find it was like on a weird Russian blog spot. There's like a MediaFire link, and I don't think it exists anymore. So
Damn, I was gonna go
nobody
look
needs
for it.
nobody needs to know that exists. As far as Azariah's Prayer goes, the first thing you should ever listen to is the 2005 demo
No,
because
I'm
that was
going to look for this.
yeah, it was the first thing we recorded that was good. Everything else was bad, bad.
I'm gonna put the sketchy media fire link in the description.
Good luck. Good luck finding it. I was like, crap. How did that exist? And then like I don't have any least
Understand.
favorite in my end yet. I'm sure at some point some song will just drive me insane and I won't want to play it again.
Yeah.
But nothing really has with this band yet. With 5 Year, like I love the lyrics for Magic Killer, but I hate the music, and it was always just it never went over live.
Yeah.
So like every time we would try to play it, it would just be to a sea of people, to a room of people just like staring at us. Like, what are you doing? Like nobody moving, nobody moshing, nobody cared. Like we played a show with Advent where we played that song, and I was, ugh, ugh, it sucked. It sucked. I hate it. We dropped it from our set list almost as quickly as possible. I think we played it live a total of 2 or 3 times. Hey, all right, nobody's into this, so let's quit.
Dude, I was reading something about what's that song? Blessed Be by Spiritbox.
Okay.
Um, they dropped that from their set list because people weren't engaging with it. They're like,
Yeah.
they said they hate when a song that you really like you have to drop from the set list because people
because
are in.
yeah, yeah. When you just get people standing there with their arms crossed, it sucks.
Yeah, when they're like,
I
they're not
play.
even bobbing their head, they're just,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen that happen to a lot of bands.
oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, those are my favorite and least favorite. Like, I think playing No Kings live is going to be really fun when we get
Dude,
to it.
Will.
Yeah.
I'm
Especially if
excited
we
to
play.
hear it live.
What's that?
I said I'm excited to hear it live.
Me too. I'm excited to like get in front of people again and play some stuff that's a little moshier than the old stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I
of
mean,
course I gotta ask, what's
yeah.
the most complicated song for you to do vocally?
Um, Betrayal from the This Is My NDP. We haven't played it live, but just the way I wrote it and recorded it, I kind of wish I had done some things differently. So there's some parts where I go from like a shouty to like a screamy thing,
Yeah.
and it hurts a little bit. It hurts a little bit. Also, for whatever reason, like Fragile, which I love that song. Like it's one of my favorite things I've ever written lyrically. But every time we play it live, I like get lost in it somehow. But I think it's because we've changed it a little. Like we play it live differently than the recording. So, and I don't have like the live track to like practice to at home.
Yeah.
So I've got like the recording, and I'm like, oh, this I lose the count in my head a lot. So, but normally I recover, and then we close with that Seven Angels breakdown, so nobody remembers anyway.
No, they're too busy thinking about the breakdown.
Exactly. That's why you should always close with a breakdown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Knock Loose did it.
Knock Loose does it. Hatebreed always closes with like "I
Yeah.
will be heard" because nobody's gonna remember if the songs before if you messed up the song before if you just play the song everybody knows and likes to sing along with.
And Josta definitely likes to play that song.
Yes, it does. I've seen Hatebreed probably a lot. Let's just say a lot of times. I've never gotten sick of Hatebreed, so
They're too
yeah,
good to get sick of.
they're such a they're they are the hardcore band for me. Like if
I
somebody
mean,
asks me to like somebody needs wants to know what hardcore is, I'm just gonna hand them Satisfaction is the Death of Desire and be like, there it is.
yeah,
You don't like this, this is not for you.
no.
Yeah.
The only band that's harder than Hatebreed is Hatebeak.
Legit, legit. And maybe K9 because their vocalist is literally a pit bull.
Yeah. The, whoever came up with the concept of having an animal as your front vocalist just for
I want
music
to say
is,
I want to say K9 was like oh one of the dudes from Indecision.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Might have been two members of Indecision and their dogs.
and their dogs.
Yeah.
That works.
Yep. Yeah, I'll have to go
Dude,
back and look. It was a
what
weird time at hardcore,
oh yeah. What a crazy concept.
right?
Surprisingly doesn't sound terrible though.
No. No. Maybe I'll get my cat on the track someday, even though
There you go.
she never meows or anything. She's very quiet.
Get one
Yep.
meow as the breakdown call out, and you
I
have a hit.
just get her to kiss about something.
Yeah, just a
Like when
hit.
yeah, like when the neighbor's cat like walks through our yard, she gets real mad about it. So
Same. I'm just kidding.
yeah, she thinks she should be the only one allowed. I guess I don't know.
Who knows with cats, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. She's an odd one.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got a great question for you. I know you'll
All
like
right,
this one.
all
Now,
right, go for it.
this is about your guilty pleasures of music. Now,
Oh, dude.
now let's be honest. Some people don't like the term guilty pleasure, so I will say maybe songs people would not expect you to listen to. But
Oh,
let's be honest, there are
oh,
some songs that people don't tell people that they listen to.
oh, I will be open and honest. Like, I love Chapel Roan.
Dude,
Um,
yes.
yeah, like my friend Amber, like a couple years ago, she was the one who was like just kept sending me Chapel Roan stuff on Instagram Messenger. And I was like, this is good. This is good. And I just ended up listening to it a lot. Also, like Sabrina Carpenter,
Yeah.
um, like Charlie XCX, like whatever. I like girly pop music when I'm not listening to scary metalcore or hardcore. Oh,
Yeah.
I also love ska. So, whatever. Come find me.
The Orange County Supertones.
I had an Orange County Supertones windbreaker at one point in my life. You can't tell me nothing.
That's actually pretty sick.
It was. I loved that thing. I think I lost it when I moved from Indiana to here.
Damn.
Rest in peace, my Supertones windbreaker, wherever it may be. Probably a
It's,
Goodwill somewhere in
yeah,
Indiana at this
I'd say
point.
probably a Goodwill.
Yeah.
Dude, I've found shirts for my wife at Goodwill. Like we found a knocked loose shirt,
Oh, that's
mistakes like
sick.
fractures one,
Oh, dope.
and it was like $3. Oh no, we found it
What?
at Plato's Closet.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, I've donated some shirts to Goodwill. Like, because I did Depop for a while and then I realized that everyone on Depop is the most insufferable person you've ever met.
For real.
Um, like, what does this measure? What's the least you'll take? The least I'll take is the price that's listed, and
Yeah.
the tag is right there. I washed the shirt once and it didn't go in the dryer. There's your answer. So yeah, yeah,
Such strange questions.
right.
Like when
But
was
yeah,
the last time you wore this shirt on a Tuesday?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
There's a reason. The reason I'm selling it is because I don't wear it that much,
But yeah.
or it fits weird. Like I bought it and then I brought it home, and it's printed on some brand that doesn't like tags mean nothing,
Gildan. Um,
or independent hoodies.
yeah.
How does a 3XL get tight at the gut?
Dude, they're hoodies, man. They just don't
Like
make them right.
they're so soft on the like they're so nice. Other than that, like I bought a stick to your guns hoodie at Furnace Fest a couple years ago, and like I love the hoodie, but like some days, man, some days it's just like a struggle.
I feel like that for my Wrongdoers Norma Jean hoodie when they
Yeah,
put out the like anniversary merch.
yeah,
I'm like, this is such a nice hoodie and it's so warm. It's uncomfortably warm at sometimes.
right. Well, especially considering the part of the country you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So especially during this time of the year, I'm
right, right.
dude, it's hard enough wearing a shirt and shorts
Legit, legit.
and
I
a
don't
on
understand people
thick
that can
skin.
wear hoodies like on
Dude,
100-degree days.
I don't understand how people can wear hoodies, sweatpants, wearing the hoodie up in a warehouse setting.
I would die. Like quite literally, I would die.
And I sweat like crazy. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna lie, I sweat pretty bad.
oh yeah, legit, dude. Legit. I
So,
work in a kitchen and it gets hot in there.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I can't imagine like doing that in a hoodie in like July.
dude, it's the craziest thing. And I've seen it. They'll be outside, hoodie, sweatpants,
I
working or chilling. I'm like, you gotta be dying in that thing.
yeah.
There's no way.
I mean, I am like a long sleeves year round guy, but that's mostly because like a long family history of skin cancer, so I'm doing my best to avoid that.
Of course.
And also, like four-sided long sleeves look sick. So,
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
yeah. or three-sided in the case of what I'm wearing today. So
Well, at least
yeah,
not two-sided.
no, boring. Two-sided is boring.
Don't even get me started on one-sided.
The worst, absolutely the most boring version of merchandise. And
Well,
I've only ever printed single-sided shirts for my bands, but whatever.
hey, I
It's
still I
cheaper.
still got one of your shirt. I still got your shirt in here. I don't know where it is. I
It's somewhere.
No, hear me out, hear me out. I
All right.
recently changed dressers. So I
Oh,
had to take all of my stuff out and put it
oh,
all in the new dresser. And
yeah,
so, oh, it's right here.
it's on the top. Hey,
Here you go.
shout out our buddy Jason for printing those for us.
Which is a sick shirt, by the way.
Yeah, yes, that's another Cypress design. So
I
yeah,
My wife likes this shirt too. She's like, "This is a sick shirt."
I agree. We should have a new shirt design sometime soon. Whenever I talk to Cypress or convince another friend who does really cool, my friend Amber that I talked about earlier.
Yeah,
She does really cool like horror, like cartoony horror art. I'm like, I want to do Neon Monster merch,
that would be sick.
like do some 2005 stuff. While we're playing these like scary songs about no kingdoms and no kings, but also here's Reptar.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, why not? Work for Prada. Why
Oh
not
yeah.
us?
It still kind of works for Prada. They do occasionally put out the weird shirt like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, to think I played with those dudes in like 2005 too. Time flies.
And now look at where they are.
Yeah, now they're playing like main stage at Furnace Fest.
And their drummer plays in three different bands.
Yeah, he plays in Haste the Day now too, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's good too, and
Wait,
they all are.
they're working on new music, by the way.
Which I'm hopefully I hope it's good. I haven't
If it's
vibed with
anything,
anything.
if it's like Burn, it'll be good.
Yeah, I haven't vibed with a lot of their newer stuff, but it is what it is. Like
Oh yeah.
I appreciate them for what they do. It's not always for me.
And that's the way it is for some
Yeah.
bands. Not every release is gonna be resonating.
No, it's not. It's not with Roots Above or the Zombie EP or the Still Fly cover. So whatever
Which is a great cover.
it is. I'm so mad they didn't play it at Furnace Fest.
Dude, my wife brings it up all the time. She's like,
I tweeted at
my
them.
cover.
I tweeted at them and called them cowards for not playing it.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll let their drummer Giuseppe know.
yeah. Please do. Be like, why aren't you playing? I don't care that you haven't played it since 2010.
It's like you have to.
You should.
I feel like
Yep.
it would get the crowd crunk.
It would. It would. That Punk Goes Crunk CD was a
It,
choice.
yeah, it was a choice. Was it a good choice?
Probably not,
No,
but did I
probably
listen to it like every day on my lunch break for like a month and a half? Yes, I did.
not. Of course.
Yes, I did.
Have you heard the Slamahoochie?
Yes. Yes, I have.
My wife
Incredible.
showed that to me. I was like, "What is this?" And she's like, "It's Slamahoochie." I was like, "My
It's
God,
yeah,
it's sick."
it is.
Surprisingly.
It is. I mean, yeah, yes. Very sick.
And while we're on the topic of music, I got to ask you what your favorite Sabrina Carpenter song is.
Espresso.
Espresso.
Yeah. Yeah, like straight up. I am
Dude, that is a
like
sick song, but it's not
it
my
is.
favorite. I will say Juno is probably my favorite.
Juno is a dope song too, but Espresso is the one that like gets stuck in my head the most.
Yeah, I'll be whistling it while I'm
Yeah.
walking around.
Yeah, like I'll be sometimes like if I'm at work and I'm like the only one there for a while, I'll hook my phone up to the Bluetooth speaker and play my girly pop mix,
That's right.
or I'll play metalcore. Sometimes it's both.
And that's
Sometimes my
really the
release radar.
best mix.
Sometimes my Spotify release radar gets real weird.
Dude, for real. I'll have like
'Cause-
Sabrina Carpenter on there. Then I'll have
yeah,
like who else have I had? Fit for a King.
right.
Um Most recently it was like Wolves at the Gates.
Yeah.
And then I had like um here we go. I had Steve Aoki.
Oh, nice. I had since I do the music at church too.
Yeah.
I had like
Oh.
and Chris Tomlin, and then Integrity. So
I
that's at a jarring transition at all.
yeah, no. And then I'll have a random CC Winan song just appear out of nowhere. I'm like, I listen to this
Dope.
for church only.
Yeah, yeah, but apparently Spotify doesn't care.
Oh
They'll
no.
let you know.
I'm like, don't get me wrong, CC, she knows how to sing,
She does.
but it's not something I listen to in my everyday life.
No.
Funny enough, we played King of Glory by CC this morning.
Nice. Nice. We didn't do any singing at church this evening because I didn't feel like setting any of that up today.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
It's rough when like there's 8 people at the service and everybody else is watching online. So
yeah,
yeah.
we did what was that other song we did? Uh, uh Man, it's like a popular Elevation Church song. Can't remember. I have it in my text messages. I don't know why
Yeah.
I don't look at it. It's "Oh Come to the Altar."
Okay, yeah, that is one of the like big songs now. Good song.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
as far as
a
like
little long.
worship music goes, which I got my opinions on that too, but we don't need to go into the best worship record is Dustin Kenzer's worship record, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
best worship record is Dustin Kenzer's worship record,
No, I agree with you. With
and probably Ascend to the Hill.
yeah, my favorite worship record is "The Ship of Theseus" by Zao.
Hey, I love that. I love that
Crimson
too.
Door.
I think the best Zao worship record is just the Splinter Shards. Exchange. Exchange is definitely like the sickest worship song. Uh, I was so stoked when I saw Symphony in Peril um, at the Furnace Fest pre-show in 23. They did Exchange and Surrounds Me,
That's sick.
and you lost my voice for the entire weekend, which sucked.
Oh, well, yeah, but totally worth it.
Yeah, yeah, it was like I got up on Friday morning and like could barely talk. Walked across the street from my hotel, bought like a big bag of cough drops.
And
Also,
God, went through all of them, didn't you?
I did, and barely slept because the Fast and the Furious was happening outside my window every night at like 3 a.m.
That's crazy.
It was like, why here, why now?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, last year was much better though. I stayed at a different hotel. It was more like was away from the street noise. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You going to Furnace this year?
absolutely.
Of course you are.
I got my ticket the day it went on sale.
Oh, it went on sale today?
No, I got it. I bought it
Oh,
back in February.
oh, okay, okay.
Well, actually, my dad bought it for me as a birthday gift. So thanks, Dad.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
killer lineup.
it is. I'm stoked to see.
Dillinger.
Um, Stoked to see Dillinger. Stoked to see Jimmy Eat World. Stoked to see Texas is the Reason. Stoked to see Knocked Loose.
Dude, and Weapon X.
Without yeah, it's. I feel like it's gonna be kind of like seeing Hatebreed was a couple years ago, where it's seeing them like in their element and without like the Slipknot
Production.
fans that make it less fun.
Yeah, no. I feel
Yeah, like nobody's going to like suddenly push me from behind in the middle of a mosh part. Um, who else is there that I'm stoked to see? Terror, obviously, always. Madball. They,
yes,
the Friday. Oh, and Saves the Day. Like Saves the Day is one of my all-time favorite bands, and somehow I've never seen them, and I'll finally get to check that off the list.
nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure Drain will be a lot of fun.
I've always heard they're a lot of fun.
I saw them in 23, and they were a lot of fun, and hopefully this year I won't like feel like death the whole time, with no voice and vibrating from the amount of caffeine I drank.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, 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 they're dope.
Knuckle Puck's gonna be there. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. There's
Giddy
um,
still remains.
yeah. Still Remains will be sick. I haven't seen them since 2006.
Yeah,
We played a show with them, so
that's
way
it.
back when. It's one of the coolest shows I ever played. Um,
Weinberg is gonna be there with suicidal tendencies.
Yup. Yeah. What
I've
else
heard
is
about Big Ass Truck. I listened
they're
to some of their stuff. They're an interesting band.
it's fun. Oh yeah. On Broken Wings is gonna be dumb.
Oh yeah,
They oh yeah, Harm's Way. And they just added Weapon X, and I love Weapon X, so
dude,
which
not
makes sense
losing
since
Weapon X in the same day is sick.
Knocked Loose, Harm's Way, and Gates to Hell are all there, and that is all of the
Especially
members of Weapon X.
yeah.
And I'm sure Dave will be doing merch for one of them, so there's your vocalist.
Yeah. Balmora's gonna be there. They're
Yeah. Yeah, I think we talked about Balmora because you saw that Dying Wish tour too.
yeah,
Yeah, they were so good.
dude, that show was great.
It was. I love Dying Wish. I love Pain of Truth. Balmora ripped.
I'll get to see Dying Wish at Louder Than Life this year.
Sick. I'm kind of bummed they aren't playing Furnace this year, but it's okay. Shout out John Mackey, great dude.
That's right.
Um,
Dude, they're so many good bands are playing these festivals. And I
I
just
know.
want the money for every single festival. And that's
Yeah, I just decided that Furnace Fest is my festival because it's the one that just looks the most like they took my Spotify history and are like, here's a festival.
yeah.
Yeah, or they looked at my last FM stats for the last like 20 years.
They didn't look at your Sabrina Carpenter part though.
No, no, but maybe someday.
Sabrina Carpenter headlining Furnace Fest would be something else.
It would be incredible.
It
Uh,
would be sick.
it would be, and also like that Living Sacrifice set this year is going to be sick because it's a hammering process.
Oh, that is sick.
Yeah, yeah, and that album rips.
Well, I've
Yeah.
got a couple more questions for you. This
All
is
right,
my
hit me.
favorite part.
All right.
It's the Dream Festival. So I'll walk you through.
Okay.
And the idea, I stole this from the Downbeat podcast. Sorry.
Okay.
Um, but I'll walk you through the process. We'll go through the different parts.
Okay.
We're putting together your Dream Festival.
Okay.
So we got to start with obviously, where's it going to be?
I mean,
Can be anywhere.
do do we just say Sloss Furnaces in Birmingham, Alabama, because that's sick,
It is a nice.
or or do we put it in like Baltimore, which is my favorite city?
I think we do Baltimore.
Yeah, I think we do Baltimore. I think we do Power Plant, maybe Power Plant Live,
Okay.
like where they do the outdoor stage for Death Fest,
Yeah,
where like they did like a nail show there on Memorial Day this year.
that's cool.
So yeah,
Well,
so we'll go there.
okay, I like it. And
Yeah.
next up, we have to have accommodation. Where are you going to be staying? Are you going to rough it out with the hobos on
No,
the street? You gonna do
no,
5-star hotel? Remember, you're not
no,
paying for any of this, so
no. I'm staying at the Hilton a couple blocks away,
okay.
and one of the rooms with a view of Camden Yards.
I like it.
Yeah, like It's walkable,
Oh yeah,
or it's like a $4 Uber ride,
which is cheap.
which is dirt cheap. And also, then you don't have to walk and get all sweaty.
This is true.
So yeah, yeah, it's a nice hotel. Um, yeah,
Hilton
yeah,
or
I'm doing that one.
okay, I dig it. Well, now we have to talk about food. We got we what's the catering like?
All right, the catering. We're in Baltimore. We're doing chaps.
Okay.
Chaps pit beef, which is incredible. Their pit beef is amazing. Uh, their other like barbecue stuff is good too. But we're in Baltimore. We're gonna do Baltimore things.
Oh
So
yeah.
maybe we have chaps for some pit beef. Maybe we have either Fadley's or Jimmy's crab cakes.
Okay.
And then we get, I don't know, someplace brick and fire pizza for Baltimore City because that's usually pretty good.
I do love me a good slice.
Me too. I don't know
It's one of
if
my
I'm
major
booking
food groups.
if I'm booking a festival, you need pizza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I survive on at Furnace Fest is the giant slice of pizza.
Yeah. It is
Yeah,
giant slice.
yeah, right.
Well, then we have to move on to the lineup. We need some.
Okay,
Now, I will preface this. You can bring back dead bands,
okay.
but if the members are dead, you have to explain how they came back to life for this show.
Whatever necromancy.
That'll.
Um, but let's see if we're in Baltimore. I there's a couple obvious ones since I'm booking this fest, and obviously it's gonna be hardcore oriented at the very least. So we're getting
Like,
trapped under ice, um, playing like I think doing Big Kiss Goodnight,
okay.
and a couple songs and like some of the stuff from Secrets of the World,
Yeah.
but like nothing from after their hiatus.
Okay. That's fair.
It's just all like OG stuff. Turnstile, I think, might be the headliner at this point because I don't think you
Okay.
can have them at any other level now.
No, you really can't.
Yeah. Um, then I think we'll do Under Oath, but with Dallas.
Oh, interesting
Yeah,
choice.
we're doing Changing of Times Under Oath.
Okay.
We're making Under Oath Christian again.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, and we're pretending that they never recorded. And maybe we'll let Spencer come out and do a couple like Chasing Safety
Okay.
and like Lost in the Sound and Disambiguation songs. But if I hear one single dubstep influence, they're getting booted off the stage. Teeth. If I hear any part of Teeth,
Which teeth?
the
Oh yeah, the newer one.
yeah, the newer one. That song, when they played it at Furnace Fest, it went over like a fart in the middle of a church service.
Oh, was it really just not the reception was not well at
Oh,
all?
dude, like, because they just played, like they'd done Chasing Safety in full, and they played a couple songs from like Define, and
Yeah.
everybody knew they were closing with When the Sun Sleeps.
Oh, of course.
So you're just like waiting for them to play like good songs, and then they drop one of their new turds in the middle of it. No, no. Also, we're getting Norma Jean doing "Bless the Martyr"
Oh,
with the OG lineup.
ooh, Josh Scoggins.
Scoggin, Daniel Davison, Chris Day, Scotty Henry, like all those dudes. And maybe we make them play a ludicrous song too, just
I think it's
because.
fair.
I think they got to play light blue collar.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Zayo because I'm not having Zayo on my festival.
Of course.
Then we're gonna do a little like veer into like some emo and pop punk stuff.
Okay.
So we're gonna add an XPX.
Good choice.
They might be the co-headliner with Turnstile. or like the second or third build.
Yeah.
Then we'll do. I think we'll do dashboard
Oh, that's.
because why not get everybody to cry?
I think they would end. I think they would only be headliner too.
I think they would be in that like top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Turnstile, MXPX, Dashboard, TUI, which is very much. I'm just essentially booking Furnace Fest, but in Baltimore. Then
It's
we're
it's
gonna
it's
go.
got a more concentrated headline than, or I mean,
Yeah, then we're gonna go back to heavy in Baltimore, and we're gonna add Dying Fetus.
ooh, good choice.
Yes, and actually, I think Dying Fetus and Dashboard should play back to back
Oh, yeah, for sure.
because I saw one time I saw Haste the Day. Ended up playing a show with Me Without You.
Interesting.
Um, it was very interesting. It was Me Without You's van broke down. It was a show in Indianapolis. So all of the members of Haste the Day were at this show. So whoever booked the show, which I think was Culture, who like also were their management and booking, like, hey, can you guys play like a 20-minute set until Me Without You can get here? And they did right after Owen, which
Interesting.
is the even sadder band that one of the Kinsellas did after American football.
That's-
Just like depressing acoustic guitar music. I
Yes.
have never seen so many emo kids start spin kicking within 15 seconds in my life. All right. And then after Dying Fetus, we're going to add Stout.
Okay, good choice.
Because why not?
Yeah,
Let's see, how many bands are we at now? Like 10?
I think we are.
All right, let's make this like a 15 band like single day.
I like it.
We're gonna add Terror
Okay,
because what's a hardcore fest without Terror?
for real, for real.
Um, we're gonna add This Is My End because if I'm booking this, I'm putting myself on it.
Oh, that's part of the rules. I just forgot to tell
Yeah,
you. You
yes, of
have to
course.
play at some point.
Yeah, we'll play like second at some. We'll play second because I'm not opening because
Good.
I've opened a lot of shows. I don't mind opening shows, but hey, if I'm booking it, like
Play before turnstile.
I would rather like not play after TUI.
That's fair.
Like put me like midday somewhere. Give me
That's a
like
good.
the give me like a 3 p.m. Like mid-afternoon slot.
That is what a lot of people say.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had so many people go, like between 3 and 6 is like their sweet spot because nobody
It
wants
is.
to headline, even if they're like headline status.
Yeah, yeah. Then I'm gonna add POD since they dropped Furnace Fest last year.
Boo.
Be like, and also they don't get to play anything like after Satellite.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. It's my festival. They will play by my rules, or they won't get paid.
That's right.
Um, we had Deftones too. Why not?
Oh yeah.
There's no budget here, so maybe Deftones are maybe Deftones turnstile co-headliner situation here.
Okay.
Then
He's
we'll add
gotta have
Thrice.
he's gotta have 15 echo pedals for his vocals.
Yes, yes, and I will make sure Steph has enough drugs that he can believe the Earth is flat all he wants.
There you
Um,
go. I like it.
yeah, then we'll add Thrice. Doing the Jesu in full.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. How many bands are we at now?
I think we're almost at 15. Throw two more in there.
Two more. Let's add. Do you want to go old school? Do you want to go new school?
Um,
Hmm. Let's
Old school and
let's
new school, one each.
all right for the new school band. We will add Peeling Flesh.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah, saw them a couple months ago and they ripped. and I think Peeling Flesh and Fetus would appeal to everybody that wants to mosh.
Oh yeah.
And for old school, you know what? We're gonna add another emo band. We're gonna add Saves of the Day, and they're gonna play first three albums only set.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a good festival. What
I
are we
think
gonna
so.
call this?
Definitely not Furnace Fest. I don't know. We'll just
Baltimore Bangers Fest.
something. Inner Harbor Heat or something like that.
There
I
you
don't know.
go.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean,
I
I could
like
do
it.
In it for the Money Fest was something I did like 20-ish years ago after somebody accused me of booking hardcore shows for the money, which there
Yeah,
is
of
no
course.
money in
I mean, why
hardcore
would you
shows.
book why would you book a hardcore show if you
Yeah,
weren't for money? I mean, they
right.
all post, right?
Yeah, it's the most lucrative career I've ever had.
Hardcore pop music, rap, hardcore.
No,
That's where the
no.
money's at.
Booking Norma Jean and Me Without You in a church. That's the way to make money.
Oh yeah, that's like what, $500,000 right there?
Um,
Half of 50 bucks.
$1,000, I think, was that one. That one went really well, so I actually did make money. But
Okay, okay.
after many years of not making money on shows,
Well, that's your dream festival. I like it. I love
yeah,
it. What's
I
more
think
of it?
I think it would be fun. I
Dude, it
think
would
there
be.
would be I think there'd be lots of moshing, lots of crying. I think some of it might end up like some of the Warp Tour dates where you would end up with like Black Veil Brides and the Acacia Strain playing back to back,
Which is pretty sick.
and then your like mall emo friend gets a concussion because they were there for Black Veil Brides early and had somebody that was there for the Acacia Strain hit them in the back of the head. This is definitely speaking from experience.
Oh,
So
I figured that's where it was
yeah,
coming from.
yeah. My friend Gina, we shouldn't let her go to shows without a helmet. To be honest, at least three times
Oh yeah,
that we've been at shows, she's been concussed.
I
But
saw.
she loves deathcore though, so
Dude,
good
that's
for her.
all that matters.
She's speaking. As she's aged, she's started to stand on like the side or in the back, away from the flying fists. So she's
Probably.
learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Black Veil Brides with it was Falling in Reverse headliner, the Dance Gavin Dance, Black
Okay.
Veil Brides, Tech Nine,
Okay.
metal band,
Yeah.
and Jarris Johnson.
Oh, that was like last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we left after DGD.
I don't blame you.
We heard
Don't.
Falling in Reverse. We got there like 4 hours early because my wife
Yeah.
and I have terrible anxiety with
Yeah.
getting places on time.
I understand. I got the I always want to be early ADHD instead of the constantly late ADHD. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we actually heard Falling in Reverse and saw
Well,
them doing their
they did the sound
sound.
check.
Yeah.
Okay. I've watched a lot of those because I watch Matt Horn's YouTube videos.
I gotta say, sometimes they bring their A game more, bands bring their A game more in the sound check than they
Oh
do the
yeah.
actual show.
Yeah. I will say everybody in Falling in Reverse is more talented than Ronnie Radke by a large margin.
I mean, Luke Holland,
Luke Holland, they had DL from the Acacia Strain playing with them.
yeah. He's
Uh,
playing bass now, right?
yeah. They have a dude from like Veil of Maya or Born of Osiris playing guitar.
The dude from Veil of Maya plays for DGD now.
Yeah, but there was somebody from one of those like tech deathcore bands that was playing with Falling in
I
Reverse
think
too.
I think it is from Boo Crew.
Yeah, yeah, weird, but whatever.
He's got a pick
I'm
'em.
sure
I'll give that to him.
I'm sure they got a decent paycheck for doing what they're doing.
They have to. They're
Yeah,
constantly playing arenas.
yeah, dude, that's wild. I still think Ronnie Radke's a wiener, but
He's
he
a
can
fun
make a tick.
wiener.
Yeah, he can make a TikTok about me if he wants to. I don't really care.
Hey, at least you'd get virality on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah, Ronnie, listen to my band. Make fun of us, please.
Ronnie, come on the podcast and
Right?
talk to this wiener.
Yeah, yeah, that would be hilarious. Because I
Like,
would just talk about how Escape the Fate is just like second rate under oath, but you know,
I can see that. I can see why you would
yeah,
say
yeah, it's the most we have under like I think the first album is the most like we have under oath at home record that anybody has ever made.
that. Hot take.
Very hot take, which it might get me in trouble with some Warped Tour kids, but
Well, they're too busy at Warp Tour right now. So
right, I'm a little jealous of them because I would have liked to have seen the Wonder Years again.
they were
And
live streaming the Wonder Years earlier.
yeah, I saw a little bit of it on Facebook.
I saw the
Um,
Miss May I, and that was about it.
yeah, I would like to have seen Miss May I because Elisha, I've known Elisha for a long time.
Me and him share the last name, same last name.
Yeah, yeah, he used to play in the Burial.
I've tried getting him on the podcast so I can
So you can
make
like
fun of the fact that
do
we have the same last name.
maybe do some do some digging into the family history and see if you're related somewhere along the line.
You know, I might actually be related to Maddie Mullins because I have family from the Washington area.
Okay, well, hey, if you can
I
reach out to him and tell him to stop ruining Amberlin, that would be dope.
You don't like him in Anne Berlin?
Uh, I like Steven in Amberlin.
That fair enough.
Yeah,
Stephen and I mean that is Anne Berlin right
yeah,
there.
Steven is Amberlin, but it's okay. It's whatever. They're playing Furnace Fest with the original lineup, so
Oh, they are?
yeah, Memphis May Fire is in like Europe or something. So
Okay. When's Furnace Fest again? September?
first weekend in October.
Oh, no, Memphis May Fire's at Louder Than Life.
11 Live. Okay, yeah, whatever. There's a few bands doing like both,
Yeah,
or
Normandy.
like doing like Epicenter, I think, or Aftershock, whichever one is in California.
Yeah,
Then flying to Alabama. There's like Knocked Loose, Converge, and Dillinger are all playing.
all seven festivals in a row that week.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they're gonna be jet lagged by the time they get to Furnace Fest.
Dude. And Knocked Loose will still put on a banger of a performance.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I will. I mean, they're in the South. It's their home territory,
Yep.
Mid South even. So yeah,
I like how they still end their sets with Everything is Quiet Now.
that song is so hard.
My wife is like, for a song that's called Everything is Quiet Now,
It is
he yells it too. It's not very quiet.
well. It's after you're concussed. Everything is very quiet for a few
Oh,
minutes.
that is true. You
Yeah.
probably don't even hear the end of the song if you
No.
hit it at the right time.
No. I mean, many years ago, I got KO'd while Advent was playing Blackout, so I'm familiar.
Yeah, you experience the song in a whole different way.
I did. I did.
Well, of course, we got to finish out the podcast with the last two questions. First
All
off,
right.
your plugs and your shout outs. Throw
All right.
that there.
Wait. Shout out I Saw God. Um, shout out Grimcat Art. Um, shout out to anybody that's listened to us in the last year. Shout out Ryan, Brian, Jason, Max, and Tyler. Shout out Kate, Jason's wife, Carrie, Tyler's wife, Andrea, Ryan's wife. Um, all of them for putting up with the nonsense that we do as grown men. Uh, shout out to my mom and dad for putting up with the nonsense I've done for the last 25-ish years of being in hardcore bands and having had people show up and sleep on our floor and stay at our house for extended periods of time. Um, Shout out to Indiana hardcore, Pennsylvania, the city of Baltimore. For plugs, listen to us on Spotify, please. We have we're on Bandcamp, Apple Music, all that too. Check out I Saw God, which is Tyler's other band. Check out World Shaper, which is Jason's other band. Check out At Least Round of the Rain and Simmer, which are Max's other bands. I'm not in any other bands, but you can go back and listen to my old bands, Azariah's Prayer and 5 Year Winter, on all of these streaming services that exist.
And that MediaFire link.
What's that? Yeah, and if you can find, if you can find that MediaFire link, you can listen to a record that was made in my friend Chase's living room in about 4 hours. Using Audacity.
Ooh, Audacity.
Yeah, not even Reaper. A couple crate amps because we were broke.
Of course.
Some cheap mics. Yeah, it was we did our best, but our best wasn't good enough. We still sold a lot of copies of that, and I don't know how, because we sucked, but but you can convince your friends to buy anything if you try hard enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, and also shout out MXPX and Zayo and Hatebreed for inspiring me to do any of this nonsense in the first place.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one last question to ask, and
all right,
the outro song for the episode from your discography.
Oh, I would just go with No Kings.
No Kings it is.
No Kings. I love that song. It's hard. It's fast. It'll be over soon, and then you can just loop it if you want to. I'm not gonna complain.
I dig it. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, dude, my pleasure. It was great talking to you about hardcore and what we're doing and what we have coming up. Keep an eye on our social media stuff. We'll be announcing things soon-ish. Working on more stuff, writing more stuff, doing more stuff. Go see I Saw God. They're coming south first. I'm not sure if they have an NC date, but check their social media. If they are, go see them. Give Tyler a Coca-Cola, or actually give Tyler a Mountain Dew.
I will
He'll appreciate it.
If they have one coming around here, I'll go.
Yeah.
I will bring him a 12-pack of Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he'll appreciate it, and yeah, that's it.
Thanks for coming.
Dude, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
This has been Mullins Over Music Podcast, episode 28. Host, producer, and editor, me, Austin Mullins. Special thanks to Aaron from This Is My End. Closing track is No Kings by This Is My End. Check them out on all their social media and music platforms if they're on. Check out the Strider EP by them on all streaming platforms. Thanks, Aaron, for coming on and having a good time talking with me as always. Special thanks to viewers like you. Thank you. And until next time, we'll see ya. I pledge no loyalty to your system. I will not disagree. A nation built upon foundation.